Imagine you are a new user and this is your new app. There's a lot going on. New users get easily overwhelmed by all the information that is thrown at them. Wouldn't it be a lot better if your app looked like this? At least in the beginning. The interface is a lot sleeker, and we hide everything except for the core functionality. This helps users to get used to the software over time. And over time, we can enable more features based on conditions. We could, for example, say, once the user creates a couple of tasks, then we create the filter section. And with more usage, we can create more sections. We get to the new elements once they are needed. This simplifies the learning process and increases user retention as well as activation rate. And this is why we created vykee. Making your app easier to use takes no more than 2 minutes. So, how do we go about it? Let's say we are a new startup and we created this app called Davia. Davia helps users to create pages and to organize those. And our goal is to simplify our app a little bit. For that, we head over to vykee, which is already installed on Davia. On the left side, you can see elements. Elements are each individual pieces in your app that you want to control. We already have a couple of those in here. To create new elements, you could simply add the attribute to your HTML elements in your code, or you could open the UI picker. This is a very neat and handy tool. It opens your app in a new window and gives you the ability to select an element simply by hovering over it. Let's say we want to select the navigation page as our first element. We simply hover over it, click, and give it a name. We also want to do this for the organization section. Let's also click on it and give it a name. Same thing for our filter section. And we also want to create a trigger. First, we obviously have to create the element. And the trigger is something I'm going to explain later. These are very important. On the left side, you can see our new elements. Elements by themselves don't really do anything. To actually control your application, you have to pick one or multiple elements to create a feature. Simply hit on Create Feature. We call this nav.org, for example. And we also want to create a feature for the filters. And we simply call this filters. At this point, you might ask yourself, what features would be sensible to hide as opposed to shown? And for that, we've created the analytics tool. In this section, you can see the usage of all your elements and features over time, meaning from the first time your user logs in until today. This helps you to compare those that are used more often, for example in the beginning, as opposed to those that are used less often. And in that case, it would maybe be sensible to hide those that are used less often in the beginning, as those create confusion. So let's add conditions. For example, we want to show the filters once the user has created one new page. We also want to show the navigation and organization bar once the user has created 3 new pages. If we now head back to our app and hit refresh, you can already see the app in its simplified version. The only available action is to create a new page. So maybe let's do that. Hooray! The first condition has already been met. That's why we can see our filter section right here. Let's maybe create 2 more pages, second and third. And after the 3 new pages have been created, our entire app is visible because the conditions have been met. Let's maybe look at another scenario. We want to log in as a new user and we've already created our first page. And again, the only available action is to create the new page. But maybe we want to see the app in its entirety without really meeting the conditions. For that, we can simply disable the simple mode to see the app in its entirety. So this is vykee, simplifying your app to show users only what they need when they need it. Thank you for tuning in.